Hi, welcome to live stream yoga with Louise. Tips and cues to keep you safe and strong on the mat. Your key word for today's practice is the word hardy. I want you to think strength and flexibility. Our main areas of focus: shoulders, back, and core. And you will need a strap for the beginning portion of today's class. You could substitute with maybe a hand towel, a belt, or you could even use a small little, I'm going to say stick or rod, like a feather duster or maybe a small broom. I've got quite a long strap, so I'm going to double up and I'm going to work with a double strand, but you could work with a single strand. As always, play where you're comfortable, modify when you need to, rest when you need to. You ready? Let's hit the mat. We're going to begin by finding our way into a comfortable kneeling frame on the mat, and we're going to grasp the strap between the two hands, trying to make the strap as taut as possible so it almost looks like you're holding a rod between the two hands. You're going to open up the hands maybe about shoulder width apart, and we're going to start with the strap overhead. And you can keep your chin parallel to the floor, or you can nod chin to chest and you can create a little bit of space behind your head. If you've got a ponytail, maybe move the hair out the way. We're going to bend through the elbows, trying to bring the strap towards the shoulder line, maybe give a little tap and then extend overhead. We're going to rinse and repeat with that bend and extend motion through the arms. We're keeping a nice tall kneel, shoulders, hips, knees stacked with a tiny 12 o'clock tilt through the pelvis, lengthening gently through the lower back and contracting slightly through the abs. Now let's add to this basic movement. The next time you find yourself coming overhead, keep the strap taut and tap the top of your thighs, then back to tucking behind the head. Keep that strap as taut as you can. Last one. We're going to end with the strap overhead, and we're going to dip 5 times to one side and back. Then 5 times to the opposite side. Then place the strap one side where you can reach for it easily when you need it. We're going to start with the arms in T, palms looking towards the top end of your mat, beginning more or less in line with your shoulders. You're going to throw the arms back gently as far as they will go, bringing the two shoulder blades as close together as you can behind your back. And then closing to wrap in front of your chest, right arm over leg. You're going to grab hold of your shoulder blades. And then you're going to think elbows to sky. Holding. Big breath in to slowly throw the arms open and behind. Then hugging this time left over right, giving those shoulder blades a grasp, and then thinking elbows gently to sky. Ease your way from here into a 4-point kneeling frame on the mat. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. You're going to think stable through the trunk, focusing mostly on shoulder area for the first exercise pattern. You're going to float the right arm up to shoulder height and paint it back, trying to keep those shoulders as level as you can and your weight distribution equal on your 3 points of contact with your belly button softly pulled in. We're going to end in the lift, hold it, stable through the shoulders, gaze down on the mat, just to the side of your grounding thumb. Keep stable through the shoulders and transition to the left hand, starting to lift and paint back. Ending in the lift, we're going to hold, stable through the shoulders. Bring it back down. Think of that stability through the trunk. This time focusing lower down on the pelvic girdle. We're going to slide the right leg out and up and paint back, sliding the foot on the mat so that the knee skims just over the surface and ends alongside its partner. Now pulling through that control line, stopping when the two knees are alongside each other and keeping as stable as you can through the pelvis. We're going to end in the lifting motion. Hold with the long reaching toe. Stable through the pelvis as you transition from right to left to repeat the exercise on the second side. We're going to end in the table lift. Hold it, long reaching toe, weight distribution equal, belly up, long neck and back line. Lead your way back to your tall kneel and reach for your strap or the prop that you've selected. We're going to make that strap nice and taut between the two hands, so you're grasping and pulling out the whole time with the hands. As you start to bend and extend, tucking that strap behind your head and thinking of trying to tap your shoulder blades with your strap. Now begin to add to the movement, adding a tap to the top of your thighs before tucking behind your head again. Last one. We're going to end with the strap overhead and we're going to dip 5 times to one side, keeping the strap taut. 5 times to one side and then 5 to the second side. Then place the strap towards the top end of the mat where you can reach for it. We're going to open up the arms into our T-frame. We're going to do a gentle throwback, maybe even adding a slight back bend, think camel. And then hugging as you straighten up, right over left, giving those shoulder blades a hug, thinking elbows to sky. Opening up again, gentle back bend. Give yourself a hug. Find your way from here onto the mat. We are going to work a modified push-up. You can do feet on the floor, feet off the floor, ankles crossed, and you're going to give yourself 5 mini push-ups. They could be small, and we're going to shoot for triceps, so elbows hugging in. You could bring yourself closer to the mat. We're going to end on the belly. Strap, we are going to hold in front of us, and we're going to grasp it in the fists, wrists down towards the floor. And we are going to find, I want you to think of this as a small cobra chest lift. So for the first movement pattern, we're keeping the legs and the feet on the floor, and we're focusing belly button up. Relax your forehead to the mat, grasp the strap, and make the tension taut between the two hands. You're going to bleed chest and arms off the mat, and then back down. Shoot for 10 repeats. Small chest lift, so we're looking for maybe 2 or 3 ribs still on the mat. Keep the tension between the two hands taut. Lean back down, release the strap, and roll onto one side, setting yourself up in a long stack, positioning the bottom arm as is comfortable for you. You're going to sandwich the two legs together like 2 connecting magnets, and you're going to lift to about hip height and hold. Fingers on the floor, or relaxed on your thigh, or reaching for the sky. Then rolling onto your second side to repeat the same lift and hold. Take a moment to find your place on the mat, sandwich the legs together, lift and hold. Find your way onto the belly again. Grasping the strap again, we are going to mimic the first movement pattern that we played with in a kneeling position. So you're grasping the strap overhead. We're going to do a small chest lift. And we're going to try to keep the chest lift as we bend and extend through the arms. And we have a small chest lift, 2 or 3 ribs still connected to the mat. Shoot for roughly 10 repeats, then relax the strap back down to the floor. Roll onto your side. Set yourself up low to the mat, body stacked in one long line. You're going to squeeze the 2 legs together, keep that midline squeeze going as we lift and lower the legs. Not quite allowing your feet to ground after the first lift. Then roll onto your second side to repeat the exercise, taking a moment to find your stack, to activate that midline squeeze, to find the arm position that works for you, and then start to play with your lifting and lowering action. Toes are soft and reaching. Once you've done roughly 10, you're going to roll your way back onto the belly. And this time we're going to come into a locust lift, so arms, legs, and chest are lifting. You're going to grasp the strap between the two hands. So you're working the hands as you grasp and hold, and you're working the arms and the shoulders as you pull out to keep the tension on the strap taut. We're going to bleed up into a chest, arm, and leg lift, thinking bow frame, or you can make your frame slightly more lengthened and think more Superman like. Shoot for 10 lifts. Once you've done 10, you're going to release the strap. You're going to roll onto your side, stacking your body in one long line. Keeping that midline squeeze going, you're going to lift the legs off the mat, and you're going to trace a clockwise circle around a large tennis ball. Keep moving in the same direction. Inhale for half, exhale for half. Keep the legs together and keep your toes long and reaching. Reground to roll onto your second side. Take a moment to find your stack. When you're ready, lift and trace a clockwise circle. Find your way onto the belly again. We're going to play with the strap again, and this time we're coming back into that locust-like lift, but we're going to work opposite arm and leg. So grasping the strap, pulling the tension, making it nice and taut. We're going to come up into a chest lift, then we're going to lift right arm, left leg. We're going to keep the chest lift as we transition side to side, lifting opposite hand to leg. Keep the tension nice and taut. Last one. You're going to roll onto your side, setting yourself up in that long stack. Taking a moment to squeeze the two legs together. You're going to find a lift and you're going to trace an anti-clockwise circle with the legs. Then roll onto your second side to repeat the exercise, taking a moment to find your position on the mat first, and then beginning to trace that anti-clockwise circle when you're ready, keeping the legs long, reaching, and clipped together. When you've done roughly 10 circles, you're going to roll onto your belly. Take a look for the next one and then we'll do it together. So we're going to grab the strap, but this time we're going to grab it palms up. So wrists are looking towards the sky. From your extended arm position, you are going to pin up into a sphinx-like line, and we're going to have our elbows today just in front of our shoulder line. You're going to grab and pull out, and then you're going to think bicep curl. Keeping that long sphinx-like line on the spine and not collapsing the weight of your body between the two shoulder blades. Last one. You're going to slide the elbows slightly away from you, connecting at least 2 ribs to the mat. Then you're going to try to come back into the bend position and you're going to give me little elbow taps, keeping your chest lift in place. Then relax the strap back down. Stack your arms one on top of the other. Take a rest on your right ear. Same exercise, but we're going to grasp the strap, palm down. So set up your sphinx line. Find your grasp and pull. Keep the integrity of the sphinx line as you think of bringing the strap closer towards your neckline and then back down to the mat. Keep the integrity of your sphinx, don't collapse. End on the floor and then slide the hands slightly further away, connecting at least 2 ribs to the mat. You're going to bend at the elbows. You're going to keep the integrity of the chest lift as you give me little elbow taps. Then relax the strap to the mat. Stack your arms one on top of the other and take a rest on your left cheek. We are going to find our way into an extended locust setup, and we're going to be working sans strap now. Extending the arms overhead, relaxing forehead to floor. We're going to do some locust lifts, so we're shooting for a chest, arm, and leg lift, all executed simultaneously. Peeling up into a soft bow-like frame, and then kissing the mat again. Find your way down to the mat. Bending your elbows, bringing the palms in alongside your chest. You're going to think 4-point kneel and you're going to round out into a cat hold. Thinking hollow belly, rounded back, little contraction in the belly. Hold it, actively pressing with the bridges of your feet into the mat. Then straighten up in table. 5 little push-ups. Feet on the floor, off the mat, or cross at the ankle. Back down to the belly. We're coming back into that locust line, but we're going to try to transition into a bow-like tap. So we'll start with the arms and the legs in extension. We're going to bleed up into the locust, then we're going to bend the knees and you're going to reach back and then bring it back down. So you're reaching back as if you want to tap your ankles or your feet. Maybe the connection will happen, maybe it won't happen. We're going to try to find a bow grab and a hold. Kicking the foot away from your bottom and into your hand. Then bleed your way into a cat stretch. Breathing into the back of your rib cage, keeping that contraction in the belly. Find your way into table for 5 mini push-ups. Feet on, off, or crossed. Working triceps. Keep hugging your elbows in towards the ribs. Last one to bring it on the belly. We're going to begin with the arms and the legs extended on the mat, and then you're going to think, I suppose the easiest way to explain it is a little tiny stretch, but on the belly. So you're going to bleed up into a chest lift, then you're going to reach opposite hand to foot and back down again. Hold your fifth one. Pressing into your hand, pressing into your anchoring hand and your anchoring foot. And then start to revolve again for 5. And we'll end this time on the opposite side. Opposite hand to foot. We're going to hold, pressing away from the mat with your anchoring foot and hand. Back to your cat stretch from here. Look for the back of your ribs, breathe into it, keep that contraction in your belly. Then straighten up in table and give yourself 5 push-ups, feet on, off, or crossed. All the way to the belly. We are going to extend the arms out in front. We're going to take a big breath in. We're going to peel up into a small chest lift. And we're going to thread the right arm underneath the left, coming to rest on the right ear and holding this soft thread. Then think of the frame of your arms. You're more or less making an L-like frame with the arms. You're going to keep that frame and you're going to think of unkinking through the head, looking down to the mat, keeping a small chest lift. And then you're going to start to cross the left arm over the right You're going to make the back of your hands heavy to the mat, palms up, and you're just going to make your body heavy into your arms. And hold. Then swing the arms back out in front. Take a moment to just relax your forehead into the mat. Then when you're ready, small chest lift with at least 2 ribs still on the mat. We're going to thread left underneath the right this time, coming to rest on the left temple or the left ear. You're going to hold that thread for a moment. Then keep the L frame of your arms and unkink your head to look down towards the mat in your small chest lift. Cross the left arm in front of the right, palms up, and just make your chest heavy to the floor. Hold the stretch into the shoulders. Then unkink and find your way into a T-frame, palm down on the mat. Take a big breath in, and on an exhale, roll onto your right temple. Keep your head on the mat. We're going to bend the left elbow and bring the palm alongside the bosom. Keep your head on the mat as you start to roll onto your right hip and your right shoulder. Stay here. Or sweep the left leg behind you to tap your toe or your foot to the mat. Stay here, keeping your head on the mat, or float the left arm up and reach fingertips to sky. Bleed your way back into your T-frame, and if you find that you have to relax your T-frame slightly and bring your arms closer to the body line to make that roll on the shoulder feel better, then you do so. All right, big breath in. We're going to roll onto the left ear. We're going to keep the head on the floor. We're going to bend the right elbow, place the palm alongside our bosom. We're going to roll onto the left hip and the left shoulder. We're going to stay here, or we're going to sweep the right leg behind us to tap toe or foot to the mat. Stay here, or float the left arm up and think fingers to sky. Lead your way back down to the mat. We are going to roll from here onto the back, and we're going to set ourselves up in a supine position. Take a moment to just find your way comfortably into the middle of the mat. First arm position is with the arms at the side or hands tucked underneath the bottom. We're going to float the legs to the 90 position, and we're going to find an alternating L drop pattern through the legs. Think of this as an L switch. We're going to end with both legs at 90, and then we're going to flutter kick, drop the legs towards the floor, and flutter kick back up. 3 times you're going to drop and lift. Then we're going to come down, we're going to bend the knees, we're going to ground the feet, and we're going to bleed up into a bridge hold. Nodding chin to chest, activating glutes, quads, hamstrings, holding. Then bleeding down with control through the spine to reconnect to the mat. Keeping the arms alongside the body or changing the position by tucking the hands behind the head. We're going to add a little chest lift. So you're going to give me a 12 o'clock tilt through the pelvis. You're going to give me a full back imprint. You're going to bleed up into the chest lift and you're going to lock it in. Extend the legs to 90 and find your L switch. End with both legs at 90 and find your flutter, drop, and flutter lift 3 times. Keeping that teeny tiny chest lift. Find your way back to a bridge line. This time we're going to execute from a T-frame, palm down or palm up, whichever feels the most comfortable for your shoulders. You're going to articulate up into your bridge with care, peeling off the mat one nodule of the spine at a time, keeping your feet and your knees in parallel, activating your glutes, your quads, your hamstrings, and holding. Lead back down, one nodule of the spine at a time. Stay on your back, arms alongside the body, or see if you can find your way onto the elbows. Pressing into the forearms. Arms could be sort of just framing your body, or you could tuck the tips of your fingers underneath your lower back to support. You're going to think legs to sky and you're going to find that L switch pattern. We're going to end at the 90 position and we're going to flutter kick down and back up 3 times. Then we're going to drop halfway down and we're going to find a little froggy swim. Externally rotating through the knees, bringing them in and then extending the legs. And extended, drop to the mat, feet to mat, keeping the parallel leg, keeping the narrow leg line or opening up your feet into table. And we are going to bring ourselves into a table hold. Fingers front, fingers side, or fingers back, whichever feels the most intuitive for you. You're going to think belly to sky, and you're going to hold. Then find your way to the top end of the mat. You're going to come into a start seat with your feet just inside of hip-width distance apart and actively braced. You're going to fist the 2 hands together and you're going to hold them at about shoulder height. You're going to keep that sense of tallness through your trunk and you're going to give me a seesawing lean back and a lean front. Then come back to the tall seat and open up your leg line so that you're at least mat width distance apart. You're going to lean off center to one side, rolling onto one bum, and then right through onto the second side. Back to your tall staff seat from here with the legs just inside of hip width distance apart. Fist your hands and begin to seesaw forward and backwards, keeping that long line through your trunk. Then opening back up into a mini straddle line, starting to lean to one side. Maybe you can lift your bum off the mat and you can give yourself 5 turns. Hands could be flat on the mat. You could be using high spider fingertips, or you could be using a combination of both. One more to each side. Bring your feet back inside of hip width distance apart. Fist your hands and find your working seesaw. Open back up into your straddle line. This time we're going to roll, lift, and maybe bring the free arm alongside your ear. And you're going to try for 5 repeats, alternating side to side. Little straddle lift. Last one. As you complete your last one, you're going to set up a gate line, keeping one leg extended, bending the other leg, and tucking the heel as close to the perineum as you can. You're going to pivot slightly through the body so that you're looking towards the toes of your extended leg. You're going to give me a soft but active brace into your feet. You're going to bend the elbows, hug them in towards your waist, with your palms looking up as if you were holding a serving tray. You're going to drop the serving tray and lift it. You're going to end in the drop. Then bleed back up to change legs. Setting up your little gate. Twisting slightly through the trunk to face your toes. Squeeze those elbows in. Start to drop and lift. We're going to drop and hold the last one. And then we're going to find our way from here into a seated frame. I'm going to give you a side view, but you can pivot on the mat if you like to. I'm coming into a comfortable Thunderbolt seat, but you can pick a seat that resonates for you. You're going to open up your arms into a cactus frame. You're going to bring the right arm in front. You're going to overlay left arm into right, and we're coming into a little soft eagle bind. Once you've found it, you're going to reach your fingertips for the sky, and you're going to hold for 10. Unraveling to place the right fingertips between the 2 shoulder blades, reaching overhead to hug the elbow in. Allowing for a neutral spine with a soft chin line. Then bring the right arm in front of the chest and hug the elbow and the whole arm in towards the chest, keeping your right fingertips long and reaching. Set up your cactus frame. Bring the left arm in, overlay right into left. Try to bring the two hands together, or maybe you're holding on to the thumb with your index finger and thumb of the opposite hand, and then think fingers to sky, hold that lift. You will stretch into the shoulders. Then untwine yourself to place the left palm between the two shoulder blades, elbow to sky. You're going to reach overhead with the right hand to tug the left elbow into center and hold that little stretch into the shoulder and the tricep. Then you're going to bring the left arm in front of your chest and hug it in. Sweep both arms behind you. Maybe you can do a soft interlace. Maybe you can draw the two knuckles together and then softly start to think fist reaching gently for the sky. Then relax your arms to your lap. Nod your chin to your chest to end off our playtime for today. Thank you so much for making time to come and play. I do hope that you enjoyed today's practice. Till next time, keep it light.